So where are you right now with regards to your nutrition as far as setting up early? Like I know this is a big thing that Team 3D MJ preaches is look, if you want to do a contest prep, like you gotta you're not doing a 12-week diet here or even 16 weeks. You're not going to be messaging a 16 weeks unless you're one of those guys who is maybe has worked with you in the past and kind of took care of himself and you're comfortable or confident that he did that correctly or she. But yeah, like where are you at? Because we're talking about 2022, and if we're talking about worlds, we're talking about November, right? Most
Yeah,
likely. So, and you're getting ready now. So maybe you can. I think this would be good for those. Maybe they want to dabble into competing in 2022. Maybe they're listening to this. But yeah, how is that structured for you from a zoom out kind of satellite point of view?
yeah. I'm just trying to cut off some of the excess, get myself down to a more reasonable place to start a contest prep. I there's like my training slash fighting weight, but that's not necessarily the best place to start a contest prep from. So, yeah, we're just going to take about what is it? It ends up being about 15-ish pounds off, and which are very easy, straightforward 15 pounds. And then we're going to just kind of hold for a minute there, scan things as the schedule comes, and then probably press the button on the prep somewhere in the middle of the year. So yeah, it's not the diet to start. It's not the actual contest prep. It's just I don't want to start at 190 pounds when I prep, or at that point, if I waited that long, I'd be over 190. So
So what are the benefits of doing that? Like, because you mentioned you're going to hold this there. So like you're going to hold that weight, that 15 pounds that you take off. So we're saying if you're 190, kind of trimming down to about 175 ish. Is that fair?
yeah. So about
So,
pseudo 195 when I started, but probably closer to 190, and yeah, get down to about probably sub 175. So I have a little wiggle room, and then yeah, like 3 months or 4 months maybe of holding, and probably more in just like a moderate surplus. So I'll probably gain like 4 pounds or something like that. So I'll still be
mm,
reasonably lean with like 17, 18 pounds to go. You add a 20-ish week contest prep on top of that. Um, yeah, it just makes it so that it's not a situation where I'm chasing the proper shape, but just kind of sort of letting it come to me.
got it. Yeah, because like off the top, and again, you're going to correct me if I'm wrong here because I'm just thinking out loud. But as far as holding that weight for, I guess, a couple months, you said you might even add a little bit of weight, like you might touch close to the 180s, right? I guess the benefit of that, it's just less stressful, like as opposed to starting at 190 a contest prep, and then there's no holding, kind of what you're doing basically, where you're going to be holding the mid 170s, where you can maintain a certain strength, your body can get used to that, maybe even put on some muscle again, and then restart that dieting process. But yeah, you does that sound about right, or maybe you can
Yeah,
add to that?
yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of the people who struggle with the worst of symptoms that we hear that come with a contest prep diet, a lot of it has to do with not necessarily just the body fat they're at, but also how far they have to trek to get there. So I think generally it's advisable to really, if possible, only lose 10 to 15% of your body weight when you do contest prep. So yeah, it makes it a lot smoother of a ride.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Well, I know that from when we spoke briefly, because I'm in the low 180s right now, but my contest weight from your prediction, right, was
Mhm.
like in the low 150s. So it's kind of like, well, man, if I wanted to do a contest next year, yeah, I might want to kind of do what you're doing starting now, and that's the same for anybody. If for anybody interested in competing, especially if it's your first time, take notes on that because that's important. It's a less stressful process as you're saying now. So
Yeah, get an estimate on that contest weight. Like I think that's really important. And we talked about accessibility when it comes to people who are experts in their respective fields. And I'd tell most people here that most people who specialize in drug-free contest preps, like if you shoot them a message, it's like, what do you think my contest weight's going to be? They'd be more than happy to give you a rough idea of that. And it's very important because most of the times you're a little shocked, right? Which means that quite often the other parties aren't nearly as aware as what they thought, or well versed in regards to like what that extreme body comp looks like. So it's good to get that from an expert so that you kind of know what it is that you're aiming for and you can model things around that.
So in other words, folks, slide into Alberto Nunez's DMs and he'll let you know, huh?
I'll give you the truth, man. Yeah.
What do you think about that as far as mindset being a huge factor with regards to how much effort people are putting into their training? Are they wrapped up in just the nuances of, the evidence-based world and the guidelines that are being put out? I would love it if you could elaborate on, just your thoughts on that.
Yeah.